you're welcome to turn off your camera and just take a moment. Sitting or lying down, finding that space where your body can relax. And you don't have to feel anything, holding anything else up. So letting yourself kind of lean into the chair or lie deeper into the ground so you can relax your shoulders, can soften your face, and allow your eyes to close down. Letting the eyes close down invites the focus and attention inward. So we take these moments to shift our focus from whatever conversation or whatever might have been filling our mind just moments before. We take this moment to pause and turn our energy to the body, to the sensations that are present in the body, as we start to connect more to our breath. And we take slower, deeper inhales, slower exhales. Just start to notice the quality of the breath as you're taking in and filling up, expanding the lungs, and feeling the sensation of the exhale. Just notice as you're taking these first few conscious breaths of our practice, how does that feel in your body? How does it feel to stretch the lungs a little deeper? Does it bring your awareness to anything else in your body that you might be working with today? So these moments of check-in are really important to just kind of feel into where we're at, not only in the physical body, but how we're feeling energetically, how we're feeling emotionally. So all these things play a role in our overall well-being. So these moments of check-in, these moments of tune in are so important because it really lets us drop in with ourselves and feel into what we're navigating in the present moment. So as we start to expand the breath, we're inviting a calm energy into the body. As we expand the breath, we invite more oxygen into the body. And we let the mind take a journey throughout the vessel, noticing if there are any parts that feel a little stuck. Or as we're taking those deeper breaths, is there any point that feels a little sticky along the way? Anywhere that we might be feeling stagnant energy. And we can work with our mind and our body and our breath together to invite a deeper flow, smoothing out of any rigidity, and dropping down of the shoulders. You can also be feeling into where in the body feels really open. Where in the body does the energy flow feel really easeful and light, expansive? And we can start to notice that as we're breathing in, breathing out, and continuing with this rhythm, we can feel into more of our body at once. So we can start to feel into the muscles, the bones, the soft tissue. We can start to feel into where there's tense energy and where there's soft energy. Start to feel into that balance within ourselves. So this practice is not about judging anything as right or wrong, or good or bad, or even this or that. It's just simply noticing with a deeper awareness what is present. And the practice is allowing space for all of it. So we can be holding maybe a little stress, but also feel the balance of that softening and the release. We might have something in our emotional body that we're still working through. As we hold that, we can also simultaneously be moving into the space of our release and our pleasure, expansion in the body. So one thing doesn't have to replace the other. We're not trying to make anything go away or make anything different than it is. We're just simply practicing allowing space for all that is here to be here. So, any emotion that's present that wants to be felt through, anything in the body that needs to move energy, and anything in the mind that we're navigating, and just be aware of all of that. And then, as we bring in this deeper focus on ourselves, our bodies, our breaths, our energy body, our emotional body, we can observe what happens as we shift the flow of breath, as we start to take a deeper control of its rhythm, and as we move our bodies in different ways, we can start to explore what's possible within our practice, what shifts within our practice. So we really practice just allowing ourselves to just be exactly as we are. And then we observe what comes, what goes, and we notice the sensations and simply just be with them. So as you take a deep breath, see how much of your body you can sense. See how much of your whole vessel you can feel into and be aware of. As you breathe out, just notice what pings your attention, what captures your mind's attention in your body. And if you notice that it's your thoughts that are getting your attention, try to release the attachment of the thoughts a little bit and feel into more of your breath and the sensations in the body. And let the thoughts be more of the background. So you feel the breath pushing your lungs downward and outward. Notice what else you feel in your vessel. And then as you exhale out and release and feel that softening, that letting go, notice what you feel now. So it's a moment by moment practice, allowing our energy to shift as it needs to, allowing the flow of energy to open in the body where it's willing to, and just giving the brain an opportunity to be fully present in the body. So the mind gets a chance to rest from the normal day-to-day thinking mode of what comes next, what came before, how we're judging any specific situation. We get to let that part of the mind just take pause, take rest. And we switch into this space of the observer, where we're watching those thoughts come and go. We're watching the breath breathe through the body. We're aware of the sensations that we're feeling. And we're practicing this without judgment, without needing to categorize. So this is a practice of deep grace towards ourselves, deep grace and deep love for ourselves, to set aside this time to just be in the body. With a world so full of so many distractions, so many things that can pull our attention from any given moment, it's this deep act of self-love to just honor ourselves in the moment, just to feel into the body and not try to push anything away, but allow things to come to the surface, allow things to ripple throughout the body, allow the energy to move. So you can stay in this relaxed space, whether you're seated or lying down, as we move into a more focused breath. So we're going to start to work into a 3-part breath. And we're going to do this in 2 ways. We're going to start with a 3-part inhalation, and then we'll work with a full exhale, and we'll do that for a few rounds. And then we'll work with a 3-part exhale and just a full breath in. So I'll guide you through both variations. But first, just Relax a little deeper through your shoulders, through your back body, whether you're seated or lying down. Feel the area of your torso from your shoulders down through your ribs to your core, your belly. Relax that space even more if you can. Feel your back muscles soften, your belly soften, the muscles around your ribs, your chest, and your shoulders relax. And then for a moment, you're just going to place your hands on your low belly, below your navel, sort of that space in the low belly between the hip points. See if you can place your fingers there and just feel into that. And then see if you can take a breath and feel your breath push your belly out like you're blowing up a balloon there. And then feel that expand up through your ribs and then up to your chest. And then exhale, let that all go. So with this 3-part breath, we're really going to effort the breath and work with the breath, starting from this lower part of the body. And we'll work with the first part of the breath from the hip points, the lowest part of the belly, to about the navel. So we imagine that we're filling up this chamber as if there was the lungs were in 3 chambers throughout the whole core. The lungs can push downward and push outward. So we imagine this first part is inflating from the belly to about the navel. And then we're going to take a pause. We're going to hold the breath for a second. And then we're going to continue to fill up and fill up the rib cage. So from the navel to about the heart. And we fill up that second chamber and we hold. And then we fill up through the heart, through the neck and shoulders, as far as we can breathe in. And we hold at the height of the breath, full breath in, holding. And then exhale everything out all at once. So we're going to do that 3 times together. So wherever you are in your breath cycle, just let it empty out. And then breathing in from the belly to the navel, hold. Breathe in more from the navel to the heart and hold. Breathe all the way up like you're breathing through to your throat and hold. And then exhale everything out all the way down. Press out, feel your navel pulling in. Slight pause at the bottom. Then we begin again, breathing into the belly and pause. Breathing into the ribs, pause. Breathe up through the chest, pause. Exhale, pour it all out. One long exhale all the way out. Hold at the bottom for a moment. And then filling up again. Fill up belly. Fill up ribs. Fill up chest. Exhale. Pour it all out. Now just take a regular inhale and exhale here and notice how you feel in your body as you do. Notice if that longer, slower breath with retention shifted anything in your body, anything in your mind. Now we're going to reverse that breath. So our inhale will be a full breath, belly, ribs, chest, all the way up to the top, as if we're filling our throat. Then the exhale will be from the chest in a pause to about the heart. From the heart to about the navel, we empty out and hold. And then that last bit of the exhale, squeezing the belly in and squeezing out the last bit of breath. And then a pause, and then we fill all the way up. And then that 3-part exhale. So we'll go through that 3 times together. So wherever you are in your breath cycle, empty everything out. Breathe in deep all the way up, belly, ribs, chest, hold at the top. Exhale just from the throat to the heart and hold. Exhale, feel the ribs deflate and hold. Exhale, release everything out of the belly and pause. And then breathe in, full breath in all the way up. Hold at the top. Exhale to the heart and pause. Exhale out of the ribs and pause. Exhale out of the belly, squeeze it all out, pause. And then fill up, all the way up, all the way up. Full breath in. Holding at the top, controlling the breathing. Hold that energy in as you exhale just from the lung, or just from the chest to the heart. Then out through the rest of the ribs. And then out through the rest of the belly. Hold the navel in and up. And then feel your breath fill your body, flood your body with breath. And then let it go in a normal exhale. And then now notice, after that second round, switching the flow. Did you find one easier than the other? Were they the same? Was there any shifts that you noticed in your body, in your mind? So now we're going to do that one more time. Only this time we're going to take a 3-part inhale and a 3-part exhale. And we'll do that 3 times together. So we're slowing down the flow of oxygen. We're also keeping it circulating in the body longer. So this is going to help our circulation. It's going to help our blood flow. It's going to help our overall energy flow. So we breathe in 3 parts up, hold, 3 parts down, hold. So I'll guide you through. We're going to go through 3 breaths. So let's first take a clearing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then we breathe in slow from the belly to the navel, hold. Fill the ribs, hold. Fill the heart to the throat, hold. And then exhale just from the heart, then from the ribs, and then out of the belly. And then a pause, and we begin again. We fill just the belly and hold for a moment. And then another sip in through the ribs. And then another sip in through the chest. And then exhale just from the chest, just from the ribs, and then out from the belly. One last time, breathing in, breathing in, breathing in all the way up. And then out from just the chest, a slight pause. Out from the ribs, pause. And out of the belly, squeeze it in and out. And then let your breath return to its natural rhythm. Notice if anything shifted, if it made you feel more light and expansive, or perhaps something else. Just reminding yourself there's no wrong way to experience this. It's just noticing and deepening our awareness of ourselves and how some of these breath practices might shift how we feel in the body. So just taking notice of anything that you felt. And then give yourself one more really deep breath in all the way up. Pausing for a moment at the top and then exhale it all the way out. And we're going to try to stay with this slow, long breath for the rest of our practice. So if at any moment you feel like your mind is starting to take over and you're getting stuck in a thought or thinking too much about what's coming next, come back into the space of your breath. Come back into that full presence and awareness of your breath. And know that at any point you can come back to this 3-part breath to really drop yourself back into your body. Even as we're moving into different flows and movements with our hips, we can still keep this breath pattern to keep the body centered and keep that oxygen flowing deeply. So whether you're doing just a slow inhale or an exhale, or you're inviting in any of those pauses anywhere, just remain aware of your breath. Remain aware of this flow of energy and this ability that you have to take control of it. So we're going to move into some gentle seated hip movements first. So if you can, find a place on the ground so that you've got a little space around you and there's some space to move your legs. So we want to start with the feet placed out in front of the body. So you're sitting on your sitting bones. Your feet are placed out in front of you. Your knees are up. Excuse me. Your hands can be placed right behind you. So maybe fingers are facing forward. Maybe fingers are facing out to the sides or even turned back. You're going to find the position for your wrists that supports your body the best. So when your hands come behind your hips, you can start to lift your chest. Your whole spine is elongated. So palms are pressing into the floor. Toes are just slightly turned out. So your knees are up, but your feet are turned out as you place them on the ground. And then we just let the knees go side to side. As the knees are going one direction, Let your head drop back and look over the opposite shoulder. And then come through center, go to the other side. And notice how you're getting some stretch through your hips, but you're also opening through your chest, a little through your shoulders here, with a gentle twist in the spine. So we're just windshield wipering the shin bones side to side and letting the knees follow. And just letting the body warm up a little bit through the internal and external rotation of the hips. Just keep that going a few more times. And then coming back through center. Walk your hands back up towards your knees. And you're going to bring the soles of your feet together. So now soles of the feet are together. The hands can just rest anywhere on the front of the shins, the knees, or the thighs. You can decide how close or how far away you want your heels to be to your body so you can sit up nice and tall. So feeling into those two sitting bones and in the pelvis and the sacrum and the tailbone. So kind of thinking about it, creating like this triangular point between the sitting bones and the tailbone to root into the seat of the body. And then to feel the spine elongate up from there. The hips are gently opening in this external rotated position. So we're just going to start to let the knees flutter a little bit here, just to warm up in the hip joints, just fluttering the knees and thighs like butterfly wings up and down. And they can be small little flutters or bigger. It's really up to you what feels good in your body. And then let that relax. And holding on to the front of knees or shins, we're going to start to circle the torso over the hips. So you can start in whatever direction feels good, just starting to roll the chest, the shoulders, even the head and neck, circling around the hips. You can decide how far you want to press your chest forward, to the side, to the back, other side. So really feeling into the full undulation of the spine, moving through the hips, warming up the hip sockets, the low back. Then start to circle in the opposite direction. And you can go as far forward with the chest as you want, circling as fast or as slow as it feels good. Mm. Few more circles in this direction. And then we come back through center. You're going to bring the thighs together. Walk the feet in a little closer towards your sitting bones, pulling the heels in. You're going to wrap your hands around the front of the shins and hug as much as you can. So you're wrapping closest to the elbows as possible, trying to grab opposite elbows, opposite forearms, even opposite wrists is fine here. And then with the breath in, you start to pull your crown forward and up, and then draw it down and squeeze your thighs in towards your chest, but then pull your back body away from your thighs. So I'll show you a side view. So your heels are coming in, you're wrapping your arms around. First, you're sitting up tall to stretch out of the low back. And then as you start to round, chin towards chest, pull the center of your spine away from your thighs. You can see you're pulling the chest away. Stretch the back of the sacrum, stretch the back of the hips into the low back. And then start to lift the chest and release the arms. You can walk your feet out a little bit. And then from here, as you walk your feet out, walk the hands back once again. So maybe fingers are facing out, forward, or back, depending on what feels good for your shoulders. And then take your right leg and cross it over your left thigh. So you have this figure 4 crossing. As you cross your thigh, or rather your outer knee, your shin over your outer knee, you're going to lift your chest and press it towards your thigh. So we probably feel some sensation in the right hip here. You decide how deep you want that to be. So if it's a lot on your hip, you can lean your chest a little further back and just press that right knee away from your body. To increase that stretch, you can walk your chest in closer to your thigh. You can even walk your left heel in a little closer to feel more sensation through the right hip. So take some deep breaths into that. We might be feeling quite a bit of sensation in the outer leg, the outer hip. So really open up your breath as if you could send the breath right into your hip socket. And then exhale, feel that long release, long, slow release of the breath. From here, we're just going to take the legs down towards the left. So the right foot comes down towards the left side, and we're in this crisscross with the legs. So the right knee is up, the left foot is closer to your right hip. You want to be able to nestle that hip into the ground so both hips are evenly planted. Your right leg crossing over your left. I'm just going to lift through the spine here and then come into a gentle twist towards your right. So you can use your left hand or your arm to press against the right leg. Right hand behind your hip. Open your chest out to the right and just allow that twist to happen from the lowest part of the spine all the way up through your crown. Notice the sensation through your outer hip and all the way down your outer leg. And see if you can even turn your head and neck to look beyond your right shoulder. And then slowly unwind. We're going to come back to center, uncross the leg, bring the soles of the feet back together, and sit up tall. We take the inhale to push the sitting bones behind us and lift the chest forward, pull the heart and the throat forward. And with the exhale, round into the back and really lean into the stretch. With your inhale, heart forward, sitting bones press back. Exhale and round. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, heart forward and up. Exhale and round. Last one. Pull the heart forward and up. And exhale, round. Now we come back up through center. This time the knees come together. You can walk the feet a little bit apart, and it's the left foot that's going to cross over the right. So we're making this figure 4 crossing with the legs. The outer ankle just beyond the knee on the thigh. Now from here, you might feel enough sensation just with that one movement. So you might just stay here and hold and breathe. But if you wanted to go a little deeper and feel a more intense stretch, you can walk your chest in a little closer to your thigh. And then the left knee pulls away from the chest. You can also slide the hips closer to the right heel, walking the hands in a little closer, walking the chest in a little closer. And then just noticing the outer hip, the outer leg, the sensation that you feel there. Breathe into that. Really focus on pressing into that 3-part breath, even if you don't pause, even if you don't hold in between. Just really feel into opening the belly, opening the ribs, the chest, the back body. And exhale, pouring it all out from the chest, the ribs, and then the navel. So give yourself 1 more complete breath there. And then we start to just shift the shape. So the knees start to move towards the right, so the left foot can be stamped onto the floor. You might have to slide your right heel out of the way a little bit so your left sitting bone can come all the way down. And you're efforting towards your left foot being flat on the floor. So as this leg is crossed over the right leg, you can hold the front of your knee and your shin. Now you might still already be feeling a lot here in the outer hip and the outer legs. Just be mindful, be gentle with your body. Know when to push a little bit into those edges and when to just ease out and let the body breathe into the gentle opening. So if it feels good to go deeper into a twist, you can start to wrap the arm around the leg or press it against the outer knee and start to twist the chest towards the left. Feel yourself root down through your sitting bones and lift up through your crown as you start to twist open deeper. Maybe your head and neck even turn to look beyond the shoulder. And then slowly let that unwind. Once again, we're going to come back to our butterfly legs, soles of the feet together, knees out wide. And we're going to do one more little flutter of the knees and just see how it feels now. If it feels more open, or maybe there's some other tension that you've unlocked that you're releasing. So you can just let that kind of float out, flutter out. And then we're going to stretch the legs out long for a moment. Stretching the legs out long so your feet are together and they're stretching out in front of you. You're going to reach the palms out from your chest and take a full inhale from your belly up through the throat. And as you exhale, start to reach your fingers beyond your toes. And then keep reaching. See if you could reach a little farther. And then fold over the legs, folding down. Your chin can soften, your shoulders can melt back. So just let the head hang forward here. As we work into the back of the hips, the back of the glutes, probably also feeling a lot of sensation down the back of the legs here. So the more we open the hips, the more we can open the back of the legs, and the more tension we release from the low back. So let's give one more breath to this shape. And then we're going to start to walk it up gently. Take your right knee and place it out to the side, bringing the sole of your foot to your inner thigh. And just slide the left leg out a little bit so it's more at a diagonal. Now with the right knee bent, the left leg extended out, we're going to bring our arms out like we're hugging a tree in front of us. So the fingers are a little bit apart, the elbows are lifted, but the shoulders, head, and neck are soft. So we feel the strength of the core holding the spine up. And then you're going to start to look at the little space that's between your fingers. Let your eyes just sort of soften between that space as you turn this shape towards your left leg. So now as you're looking through your fingers, you can see that that space between the fingers lines up with your foot. And then you start to reach that forward and then just reach the palms towards your foot. And wherever they land, let them land, whether it's your shin, your ankle, closer to your thigh. And then drawing your right knee down towards the ground, fold your body over your left leg. And just let that melt down as much as your body allows, softening through the right hip, softening through the chest, the head and neck. So just folding over the left leg and finding your breath. Feeling the breath push into the belly, but also noticing how it can open up your back, how your lungs can push into the back of your ribs, the back of your chest. And your exhale might allow your body to soften a little bit, melting a little tension in the neck or the shoulders and the hips or the back. Give yourself one more breath and just notice how your body responds to the shape, how your body responds to your breath, holding the shape. And then when you're ready with an inhale, walk your hands up, come back through a center position, and then stretch the right leg out, pull the left heel in. So the left knee is now out to the side and the right leg is stretching out long. And that right leg just kind of moves out to a little bit of a diagonal. And we find both sitting bones rooted to the ground so we can try to sit up as tall as possible. Beautiful. And then we'll find that tree out in the arms. So the elbows are lifting. We're using these bigger muscles on the side of the body to hold the arms up so we can soften through neck and shoulders. And then our eyes are just softly looking at the space between the fingers. We're fully present and aware of the body. As we take an in breath here to sit up tall, and the exhale to turn towards the right leg until your toes are framed in that space between your fingers. And then with the inhale, you feel your chest lift, your spine long. And the exhale, you start to hinge it forward. And then just let the arms come down wherever they land. So they might press into the floor. They might hold on to part of your leg. Just keep turning your chest in the direction of your right foot and keep drawing the chest forward towards your toes. And just let your body melt into the shape. Feel the breath expand belly, ribs, chest. On the exhale to soften, soften, soften. Feeling the length, the expansion of the inhale, and the release, the melting of the exhale. Stay for one more breath. Just see your body's response to the shape, to the breath. Maybe you even fill up your breath and hold for a moment, and then exhale and let it all go. And then take the in breath to walk it back up. And bring the soles of the feet together one more time. For this one, we're going to use the strength of our arm bones to lean forward and press our elbows and forearms into the inner knee and inner thigh. So you can pull your heels in a little closer or farther out, depending on how it feels for your hips and your back. But try to press with your forearms and elbows. If you can, press in. And if it's too low to go to the forearm or the elbow, you can use your hands and you can just bend the elbows and just try to press your thighs a little further down. So maybe it's one at a time. Maybe you just do one side and kind of push that knee and then press the other side. And you're, of course, feeling into what's right for your body. You're not going past your body's edge. Just kind of feeling, how much can I push? Gently and softly, just expanding the inner thighs, the inner hip. So we just might use the palms or the arms to press a little deeper. One more breath there. And then we come up through center, bring the feet back out. Walking the feet out, they can also turn out slightly. And we come back to where we started with our hands somewhere behind the hips, leaning back, lifting through the chest, lifting through the crown of the head. So you feel the crown of your head lifting and lengthening up and back. And then we just take a really gentle swipe of the knees and let the torso twist the opposite direction. And just feel into that. Does it feel more fluid than when you started? Does it feel more sticky than when you started? Either way, whatever you're feeling is perfectly fine. It's just feeling what is here, what is present, what's alive for you in this moment. Give yourself one more to each side, and then come back to center. And then from here, take a nice deep breath and exhale everything out. You're going to slowly move onto your back and find a grounded position on your spine. So as you lie down, bring your feet a little closer towards your hips. Release your spine down, your arms along the side of your body, feet about hip distance apart. Press into the feet and then push your hips up. And then curling the tailbone towards the heels, roll the spine back down. And do that again. Press the hips up, stretch the front of the hips, and then exhale, slowly roll them down. Do that one more time, pushing the hips up, and slowly roll them down. And then from there, relax your legs. Relax your arms. Relax your body into a grounded position. Wherever your arms and legs want to land, find a place where they can soften. Take a moment to let your body release. Lying on your back, knees can stay bent or legs can extend out. Arms can rest out to the sides or perhaps somewhere on the body. Allow the ground to support your whole vessel. Allow your back to soften. Allow your face to soften. And then notice the sensation in your hips. Notice the spaciousness in your breath. Observe your body in this moment. Observe what might have shifted. How does your energy body feel in this moment? What's present in the emotional body? What is present in the physical body? Just taking in those slower, deeper breaths to allow the mind to shift from the space of categorizing and judging, labeling. We move a little bit more away from the logic and the thinking mind into the space of feeling, into the space of awareness, into the space of just being. And sometimes this can be a challenge for our mind because it's so used to being in that thinking mode, of figuring things out, of analyzing, of pondering what comes next. So we give our body and our mind the chance to return to the space of homeostasis, to drop back into our parasympathetic nervous system, into a space of just rest, digest, calm. And we can do this by guiding our awareness to our breath. Our breath is always in the now. Our breath is always present. And the breath becomes a beautiful way to reset the body and mind. So when we focus in on taking the fullest, most expansive breath we can, filling our body with fresh energy, with fresh oxygen, we give ourselves the opportunity to slow down. When we feel the breath release completely from the body, releasing stale energy, releasing anything that's stagnant. As we carry a lot of emotional energy in our hips, and so when we do movement to release tension or to release trapped or stagnant energy in the hips, it can sometimes release emotional sensations. So just allowing whatever flows to flow freely out of the vessel, out with the breath. And just giving yourself this tender moment to feel into anything that might arise for you. And allowing yourself to just be with all that is, without feeling like anything has to be different or anything has to change. It's just simply noticing what is here and what's ready to go and what's ready to be invited in. So if there is something that you've been holding on to for a while that you feel is ready to release, maybe it's gotten shaken loose from the body, maybe it's gotten released from the emotional body, or even just a buildup of energy, we can use our breath to help release that out of body, mind, and spirit. So if there is something for you that you're ready to just pour out with your next breath, fill yourself up, feel yourself gathering that all up on your inhale. Almost like you're gathering up from your vessel, from your mind, from your energy body, anything that you're ready to shed. And then feel that release with your breath. Feel it pour out of you. And then there's this spaciousness, this opportunity to invite in energy, to be in this space of co-creation of our energy body and what we invite into our day. So maybe there's something you want to call in for yourself. Maybe there's an energy that you want to embody today, or just something that you need for your physical soothing or physical comfort, or for the emotional body. So just feeling into what you might want to call in, what you might want to invite into your body. And simultaneously noticing what might be ready to go. And remind yourself that there's no pressure either way. You might just be perfectly content with exactly what is right now, and that's perfectly fine. This practice is more about just noticing, just simply being, and practicing that space of holding sometimes what might feel like opposites. And just allowing that all to be present within ourselves, without judgment, without criticism of ourselves. So I'd invite you here now to take a deep breath, let it all go. And let's seal our practice with one final round of three-part breathing. We're going to do one round with a three-part inhale and a full exhale. And then we'll do one round with the full in breath and the three-part exhale. So starting out, take a full breath in and let it all go. And then breathe in through your belly and hold. Breathe into your ribs and hold. Breathe into your chest. Hold. Exhale, let it all go in one long flow. Breathe it all out. And then take a breath, let it go. And then we begin with a full breath in. Fill up, fill up, fill up to the top. Hold. And then exhale just to through your chest. And then exhale just out of the ribs and pause. And then press out the rest of the breath. Really pull the navel in and up, squeeze it out, pause, and then let your body fill with a fresh breath and let it go. Taking this moment to honor yourself, your amazing vessel, your amazing energy. I would invite you to wrap yourself in a hug of gratitude and an embrace of love, hugging your heart space, even giving yourself a little extra squeeze, saying thank you to your body for carrying you to this moment, saying thank you to yourself for carving out this time for yourself. Switch the arm, the opposite arm on top, and give yourself an extra little squeeze. Maybe even say I love you to yourself. How often do we say I love you to ourselves? Let's make that more of a practice. Love and gratitude for yourself. Thank you.